In the dusty village of Pavanpur, tucked between yellow mustard fields and breezy sugarcane fields, Meera lived with her mother in a big clay hut near the mango grove. Each day before sunrise, birds chirped, cows mooed, temple bells rang, and Meera, who was only 11 then, carried her clay pot to the well with the other girls to fetch water. But Meera, unlike other girls, did her chores with care, but her mind always wandered to questions. Her mother, Amma, said she was born wise, an old soul in disguise who always did things cautiously without being told to. They were poor. Amma washed clothes for rich merchant families. Meera sometimes helped. She would help in lifting heavy bundles of damp saris and drying them on ropes stretched between neem trees. They rarely had enough food to eat, but were always happy and very content. Some mornings, Meera would pass by an ancient banyan tree that stood firm in the village square, leading to the central well. Beneath the tree sat a man in rags, long beard, cracked lips, back bent like an old bow. His eyes were tired but deep. Most villagers walked past him without glancing his way. Some saw him as a madman. Others would toss pebbles, spit, or throw insults at him. But Meera would stop, press her palms together, and bow to the said madman. "Namaste, Dadaji," she would say softly. Most times, he said nothing in return. But today, he lifted his hand in blessing and smiled at her. The village children laughed. One of the children, Sita, her cousin, rolled her eyes. "Why would you greet a mere beggar, even more bow to him? He probably doesn't even know his name." Meera smiled and said, "Sita, it doesn't cost anything to show respect." And she kept at it for every time she passed the banyan tree. One sunny day, she gave her last roti, carefully wrapped in a banana leaf, to him. He smiled and muttered words of thanks to her, while tears rolled from his eyes and wet his cheeks. Seasons passed, and Meera, who turned 18 now, grew taller and more beautiful. As her dreams became brighter, her responsibilities became heavier. She taught herself to read from pages torn out of old schoolbooks, sometimes left behind by the rich merchants' sons and daughters. She read books about virtues, respect, and love. She read about kings, queens, princes, and princesses. She read about life in general. As years passed, Meera kept tending kindly to the man under the banyan tree, until one day the man was gone. She searched the village square. Villagers said he had wandered into the forest and must have been eaten by wild animals. Others said he must have fallen from the mountains and died. But Meera didn't believe any of those stories. She needed to find him. Still, every morning she would wander past the banyan tree with the hope of seeing the beggar there. "Why do you keep passing through this route?" Sita asked. "He's gone for good." "Caring doesn't end when someone disappears, Sita," Meera said. "It starts when they are gone, and that's when it even matters most." On a certain bright sunny day, a royal entourage arrived, a horse with golden harness, soldiers in white and red uniforms. A messenger who sat on the horse read a scroll in the village square, where villagers had already gathered. "Hear me, people of Pavanpur. The king of Aryavarta has returned. He who left the throne for a while and walked among the people in secret and solitude to find those of true heart has finally returned. He then and now calls forth one with a true heart, a girl who cared and showed kindness to a mere beggar." Gasps spread like fire through the crowd. The messenger pointed to Meera. Meera stood shocked and froze in front of her hut. The soldiers walked straight to her. "You are Meera, the daughter of Amarada, the washerwoman?" She nodded. They bowed to her. "His Royal Majesty remembers you. Your care and kindness towards him while he was sitting was never forgotten." They escorted her, and the horse rode off from the village square, and before she knew it, she was in the palace, a place with shining marble floors, a place where interiors were decorated in gold and music floated like wind. She was quickly taken to a chamber where she was dressed in soft silk, fed like royalty, and treated with so much love. So the old beggar under the banyan tree was a king, Meera thought. A king! He had once ruled with power, but after a series of betrayal in his court, he had left everything behind to walk among his people to see if goodness and kindness still lived among them. Of course, he found it in Meera. He remembered how she would always bow to greet him. The food she gave him, though small, yet it was satisfying. The kind bright eyes that looked at him like a human, not a piece of dirt. He asked her to stay, to learn the ways of the palace. And she did. She learned statecraft, kindness, strategy, languages, but she never let the gold drown the goodness in her heart. She would bow to the cleaners when she passed them in the hallways, appreciate and thank the servants after attending to her needs. She would even walk barefooted sometimes to feel the earth. Years later, when Mira turned 28, the king stood before her in the balcony. "Mira, my dear, you are not just kind," he said. "You are wise. You are good. Everyone in this palace loves you. Will you be queen? Do me the honors and marry me, please." Mira, whose eyes were already smiling, quickly said, "Yes." The coronation was a humble one. There were neither elephants nor fireworks, just shouts of happy people, the sound of temple bells, and Mira, wearing a crown of marigolds, bowing to her people. Her first act as queen was to build a resting shelter for travelers. Her second, she banned the word low birth in the entire kingdom. Her third, she had a statue of the king placed beneath the banyan tree in Pavanpur to remind people what being kind and caring can bring you. And on its base, carved in warm stone, were these words: "How you treat people when they have nothing to offer you shows who you truly are." The real life lesson here is this: in a world obsessed with appearances, wealth, and social status, this story reminds us that true character is revealed not by how we treat those with power, influence, and connections, but by how we treat those who are powerless, those who are poor, and those who are needy around us. As Confucius would say, respect flows not from status but from soul. Like Mira in the story, choosing kindness, humility, and compassion plants seeds that eventually bloom in ways we never expect. You may never know whose life you're touching, or who, in disguise, is watching how you treat others. A warm meal, clothes to cover nakedness, a little handshake, a pat on the back, a hug to comfort a sad person. These are the small human acts that define us more than our achievements ever could. If this story touched your heart, remember this: kindness is never wasted, it always finds its way back. Subscribe for more inspiring stories and life-changing lessons that would help shape your character. Like to support those who are truly kind-hearted. Hit the bell icon so you never miss a story that could inspire your next step. Until next time, stay humble, stay kind, and always care with all your heart. You never know